It's getting cold, baby, I just want you close. I got all this joy in my heart, and if it's getting dark, yeah, we can go inside. Baby, won't you hold me tight? I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you and me, and I know it will be a magic holiday. Oh, you make it all okay. Oh, it's a magic holiday. Ooh, the rest just fades away. You and me, a magic holiday. The fire's burning bright, and the snow is falling down. Honey, I want you near. In your arms, that whole world disappears. 'Cause when I'm feeling down, you're there to love me right. Nothing compares to this. It's such a bliss, my only wishes. I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you and me, and I know it will be a magic holiday. Oh, you make it all okay. Oh, it's a magic holiday. Oh, the rest just fades away. You and me, a magic holiday. A magic holiday. A magic I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you and me, and I know it.
Hi, everybody. I was just dancing along to the music that was playing before this started. So I hope you enjoyed my card. And to remind you, mine was the snowman card. And he was all made with basic shapes. And I even showed you how to do that shaped edge. I love teaching people how to use their Cricut and Cricut design space. I really try to focus on what tools and what button to hit to make things work. Because there's nothing worse than going to craft and you're like, okay, do I hit this button or that button? Where's the button? So I really focus on teaching people how to use that software. I saw that someone asked, how do I choose my colors? And for this card, a lot of times I do a card that has a white background, but obviously I couldn't do that because then my snowman wouldn't pop. So I went with the light blue because it was kind of a sky color, or at least I felt like it was. And then the deep, deep teal and the purple. I had some scraps that were on my craft table from something else. And I love pink, but I also love like a deep blue kind of teal color. And the purple was a nice accent. There was really no rhyme or reason. I did not want to go with the traditional red and green for Christmas because I like showing that you can use other colors besides what most people would think of for Christmas on your cards. And honestly, this doesn't have to be just for Christmas. This could be adorable for somebody who has a birthday in any of the winter months going into January. I'm in Minnesota, so February, March, we could still have snow. So then you could still be using a snowman for a birthday card. So, and you could personalize the inside with, a happy birthday greeting. So let me know what questions you have either about this project or about Cricut design space in general. So someone asked, how do you open a project that you're working on so that you can continue on the canvas? That's a good question. When you go to click on the project in Cricut Design Space, there'll be a button that says Customize. Okay, I don't know why it says Customize. If I was the software designer, I would just open Project. That seems logical. But Customize was the name of the button that they went with. The other button that's right next to it is Make It, and that literally goes straight to the Cricut map preview screen. So if you want to make any adjustments on size, the name, anything, customize. And knowing Cricut Design Space, they'll change that tomorrow now that I've said that. Colleen Berg. Okay, I have to say this. My sister's name is Colleen, and her married last name is Berg, but they spell it different. So this is kind of funny. Do you like to add gems or do you prefer other elements? Honestly, Colleen, I use whatever I have. I have so many craft supplies. I am not the person that's going to run out to the craft store and say, oh, I have to get exactly this. With this project, I use those little dimensional dots with the Viva decor because I had it. But, on another project, I might have used rhinestones that I have or, glitter cardstock cut into little circles. Whatever you want to use to add a little extra bling to your project, go for it. It's about being creative. You can see behind me with my mouse ears that I like a little sparkle or bling on my projects. So, what other Cricut questions do you have? Because I'm actually working on some new mini courses for Cricut Design Space. Cheryl, your question is, when you unite some pieces, what do you do when the united object becomes a solid color, assuming you can't send the solid to the back? Okay, well, unite is basically the same thing as weld. So to me, it sounds like you're not necessarily wanting to unite things. You're probably wanting to group them. Because group is going to keep them together. For example, the snowman. If I grouped all of these pieces, they're going to stay their individual colors, and then I can resize him, all of it together, or I could duplicate that whole group. That's one thing I really like to do, is I design one thing, and then if I know I'm going to need another one for a different project, I duplicate the whole group at once versus duplicating individual pieces. Unite is basically the same thing as weld. I'm guessing once people get used to unite, they might take weld away. You can't unweld. I know some people will tell you you can, but once you hit save, you can't unweld. There are even some people out there that will say, now you can unweld. No, you use unite and you can ununite, but you still can't unweld. Some people are saying, Shawn, that's nitpicky, but I'm big on like, let's call it what it is because that helps everybody understand it. And I'd like to use, analogies and really talk to people like they're, staying here with me and I was just having a conversation with them, because that's what I think helps people remember things and really understand them. And that's what I'm all about. So I see that Patty mentioned that if you go to my stuff and it was your own project, you can open a project there. But I think when you click on it, it's still going to ask you if you want to make it or customize it. And actually, I think those are flipped. Another person says, hi, I just watched the tutorial for your card you made question. Did you have to purchase the reference snowman from Cricut? No, because I only used him as a reference and I deleted him before I hit make it. So this is something that I think a lot of people don't understand. Just because you do not pay for Cricut Access, I don't pay for Cricut Access, I use it for free. That doesn't mean you can't put something on the screen to check it out. It's just if any of those elements are still on the screen when you hit make it, then it's going to ask you to pay for it at that time. So I can put all kinds of images in there. If I just want to have them there for a reference, that's totally fine. It's not until you hit the make button that it will say, instead of continue, it'll say checkout. And then you can review things and say like, oh yeah, the font I used is something I would have to buy. And you can go back, just change the font to a freebie one because there are a lot of freebie fonts, or go download a new font from, a site like DaFont, and then you can edit that. So yeah, don't be afraid to use different things kind of as a reference. Just know that if you use any part of that in your final design, then you're going to have to pay for it. Those are good questions. I think a lot of people confuse Cricut Access and Cricut Design Space also. Cricut Design Space is the software. It's free to use. Yes, if you pay for access, you get more stuff that you can use, like images and fonts and the warp text and what's the other one? The monogram maker. But honestly, by the time Cricut figured out how to do things like warping text and a monogram maker, some of us crafters out there had already found other websites or resources or apps that we could use for free to do the same thing. So, if I can do it for free someone else, and then I just bring it into Design Space, I'm totally going to do that. I'm a thrifty, money saving person. So if you like thrifty tips and tricks, ways to save money, I'm kind of good at that. I get most of my fonts from a website called DaFont. You need to download the fonts, and then it's probably going to come in a zipped folder. You have to unzip that folder, and then you install the font on the device you're working on. You do not upload fonts to Design Space. You install them to your computer, your tablet, your phone. So, what other questions do you have? I'm actually working on a course with some new, information. So I'd love to know what you might want to see in a Cricut course. Thanks for DaFont. It's DAFONT is the DaFont website. If you go to my website, and I have a list of free resources and places where you can get free designs, like free SVG files. So I'm a big believer in if it's out there for free, get it. But then again, I'm also starting to sell some of my designs, but I keep them very economical. I try to do a freebie, but then also a paid one. In one of my past Cricut Summit events that I was in, I did a card that said "Believe" on the front with snowflakes, and people just loved it. And then people that didn't attend the summit started seeing it, and they're like, "Oh, where can I get that?" I'm like, "Oh, well, it was part of the summit." And then I was like, "Oh, I guess I could sell it." So then I put it on my website for sale. So people who didn't attend the summit would have to buy it. But you guys that attended the summit got it for free. That's another good reason to do these summits or attend these summits, even if you don't learn anything new about how to use your Cricut, you're going to get a bunch of free designs. So, Susan, if I was stranded on a desert island, what one craft tool would I want with me? So, if that island has yarn on it or something that I could turn into yarn, I would want my crochet hook. I every night after I get off the computer and do all this stuff, I sit and crochet while I watch the news or watch a television show. I find it really relaxing. And also, um, if I'm feeling a little tired, crocheting keeps me busy so that I don't put my head down and fall asleep and miss the end of the movie that I'm watching. So, um, looks like we're almost done. Cheryl has another question. When you use Unite, does your Cricut get into a solid color? Yes, it's going to go solid because it's the same as Weld. Weld, think of Weld like I always think of the movie, what was it? Flashdance, that the lady was a welder. Weld, you're joining two things together. So if I am joining these two things together, if I was just taping them and making a seam, that would be attached. But if I'm literally mixing them together, like, oh, like if you're mixing up your Christmas cookies, after you mix them up, you can't go, oh, I want to take an egg out because it's all mixed in there. So Weld and Unite are going to make them all one. So what other sites do I use regularly? Creative Fabrica. Of course, my mind is going blank. I have a list on my site. If you search free SVG, I think it's over 20, might be close to 30 different sites that offer free SVG files. I could maybe drop it in the group if you guys want it. Or, just let me know. Go on my site, search SVG, and you'll find it. Yeah, DeFont is my go-to for fonts. The only thing you can't get there is a single line font, which would be a writing style font. But I have found a really good resource for purchasing single line fonts, which would write with your pen. So I had a great time teaching all of you how to make the snowman card. And I just think he's cute. And I hope this encouraged you to try more things and to look at what you can do with what's out there and free, or what you have at your house so you don't have to go running and buying all kinds of new supplies for every project. Let's use what we have and use what's available to us and use our imagination to really make things. So I think I'm almost out of time. If you don't follow me on social media, please, please, please head over to my website, ShawnMosch.com. On the top header, you're going to see all the icons. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I don't TikTok a lot. My YouTube channel is going to have all my videos. I'm on Pinterest. I know a lot of people forget about Pinterest, but I still use it for a good way to just get inspiration. It's kind of just like window shopping, and you're like, oh, I like that. I'll pin it. I'll pin that. So, and then if you are over at my site, sign up for my newsletter, because then you'll know what else I'm doing. Or if I have a new tutorial out, you'll be able to check that out, because I always want to be teaching something that helps you solve your Cricut crafting problems. So Whenever you're frustrated with your Cricut and you're like, I can't figure this out, let me know. Send me a message. I have been saying this in every summit I'm in for the last year. Send me a message, send me an email with your questions. And people go, oh, Shawn, you're going to regret saying that. I've yet to regret it. And it's been a full calendar year since I started saying that. And the reason I don't regret it is because 90% of your questions, I already have a tutorial that'll answer it. So then I just send you a link and say, watch this video, read this tutorial. If this doesn't answer your question, then we can connect and work through it. And sometimes your questions turn into my next video, because there have been times that people have asked me a question. I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. I'll do a video on it. And because if you have the question, chances are there's thousands of other Cricut owners that have the same question. So let me know. I want to be your Cricut phone a friend. Or if you live in a warm state, invite me over, because I live in Minnesota and it's temperature's good now, but it's going to get chilly. So, all right, I'm getting that's a wrap. So thank you, everyone. Let's craft together. Again, the site address is shawnmosch.com. Just search my name.